Have you been stopped at the airport? Can you go to jail if you don't pay the tax? Welcome back, guys, to our Let's Talk podcast series. Today, we have a very special guest from Lembaga HASiL Dalam Negeri, Encik Muhammad Irsyad Abu Tariq from Criminal Investigation Branch, LHDN.
Thank you again, Mr. Silva. Definitely a pleasure of mine to be at Let's Talk Tax today. So my name is Muhammad Irsyad bin Abu Tariq, or you can call me Irsyad Tariq, Irsyad for short. I've been a lawyer with regards to the tax issues and tax law since I was in private practice at one of the biggest and prominent law firms. And then I decided, hey, why not join income tax and just learn more about tax there. There I was attached to several departments, specifically on the tax litigation department. Then I moved on to the tax drafting and advisory, and now I'm currently in the criminal investigation branch. So I've gone full circle, so they say.
I see.
Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Okay. Since our first topic is the travel restriction, probably I would pose a first question to you, Encik Irsyad. Can someone really be stopped by the immigration at the airport?
The short answer is yes. The long answer is of course.
Of course. Okay, the question is, when someone is stopped, when the person is stopped at the airport, okay, then the person start wondering, hey, why am I stopped at the airport? So what will be the, if an income tax officer has to give an explanation, okay, what would be your explanation?
Okay, the modus operandi will be like this. You come to the airport, you want to go for a holiday, and then you came to the boarding gate, and then somehow the immigration officer said, no, you can't go on the plane because you have some tax dues. Then you went to a panic mode. What should I do now? So the actual thing that you should do is that you check with the immigration officer, hey, what's going on actually? You have some tax dues, call the LHDN officer and said, what can we do about this now? So from there, you try to contact and make payment, and then surely you can go for your holiday.
Okay. So the thing is, okay, if a person is stopped in the immigration because of the tax dues, okay, the next thing that the question need to ask is, what is the range when the person is stopped? What is the range of payment or amount which is outstanding that a person can fall into this category?
There's a misconception that only millionaires and billionaires get stopped at the airport. Actually, if you have a nominal amount of tax dues, let's say 10,000, 20,000 ringgit owed to the government, you can be stopped at the boarding gates. It doesn't matter of the amount. It's just that if you don't pay, you may be stopped.
So let's move on to the next question. If a person stopped in the airport of during the travel, does it mean that the person is guilty, or this is a warning from the LHDN?
When you say it's guilty usually involves criminal.
Right.
But if you don't pay, you are still within civil kind of settlement. So long as you pay after that, then you can go and travel. You are not guilty as of a guilty criminal, but you are required to pay your debts. That's it.
So it's just the income tax want to collect their dues.
Yes.
Okay, just settle, then you're okay.
Yes.
You're happy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do not be worried.
Yeah, no more worries. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Assuming that if anyone is really stopped by the immigration from traveling, what would be the simplest and fastest way to get the travel restriction lifted?
Try to contact with the immigration officer, and then they'll direct you to an LHDN officer. If it will be easier for you to go to the LHDN's website and you just make 50% of the payment, then they will lift the travel ban. Then you can go for your holiday.
Right.
Yeah, just 50%.
Just 50%.
Yeah, but if you pay full, that'll be the best.
The full, I think they will allow the complete release.
Yes, definitely complete release. But if you only have a certain amount that you can pay, which would result around 50%, that is acceptable.
Right. So after saying that, assuming that they pay the 50%, the balance still negotiable and probably can pay over a period of time.
Yes.
By installment?
Yes,
something?
you can pay and it's negotiable. You can also engage with your LHDN officer and say, hey, can I pay this in installments? And if it all goes well, then you can pay via installments. But you still have to pay the full amount, just not at the airport.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means a person stranded, not stranded, health at the airport can settle and straight away can board the plane.
Yes, it's actually quite fast. I have a WhatsApp group with the immigration officer right now. So let's say a taxpayer immediately pay at the airport and the flight is around 20 minutes time. And you make payment, and then the immigration officer will then be contacted by the election officer and then immediately will release you.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So there won't be an issue.
No, not an issue.
It's like 24/7 server, really.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. That's nice to hear. Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for the overseas travelers so that they will not meet with these surprise travel restrictions?
The misconception that we agreed earlier on is that it's a surprise. It's not really a surprise. There have been letters coming to you, like probably 2 or 3 correspondences, and then probably you didn't realize it, or you didn't really put much emphasis on it, or you forgot to pay. So long as you respond to the correspondences and then you make a payment and then you request, let's say you want it for installments because the money is not enough in the bank, we would understand and we would try to accommodate you. The problem is when you ignore us and then you decided to do what you want against the law.
Right. So I like the word that you use, ignore. I think this is what the taxpayer has to be, aware of, that any correspondences or now I think LHDN communicate via emails, if I'm not mistaken. And then they are now more ease at communicating via phone and all that. So I think, like you mentioned, don't ignore all these communications. Take it seriously and then, keep in touch with the income tax. And then a person, what kind of precautions a person can take when he want to travel? So meaning the person, where can he check?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can check at the immigration website and also LHDN website and just put in your name, your IC, and then they will tell you, yes, you can travel.
Okay.
If you can't travel, then there'll be a red there, you can't travel.
I see. I see.
So it's very easy, it's very convenient. Just check your correspondences, check your emails. Don't just check your email when LHDN say happy birthday to you. There are other emails as well.
So that's good. So ladies and gentlemen, when we have listened to what the officers from the income tax has mentioned, so it is not that difficult. Actually, you just have to keep in touch with the income tax, whatever correspondences, then keep your dues. Keep paying your dues, whatever outstanding with income tax, then you'll be okay.
It's not that hard, guys.
Irsyad, can someone actually go to jail for tax mistakes only if they intentionally cheat?
Intentionally cheat. I think I would like to start. It's quite a heavy discussion because it involves criminal, right? But the old saying goes, everything is uncertain except for death and taxes. But when it comes to taxes and criminal, it becomes a bit more complicated because if you look at the Income Tax Act in general, there are a lot of provisions where you can get fined for not obeying the law. But specifically, Section 112, 113, and 114, meaning you don't file your returns, you make an incorrect returns, and you willfully evade tax. Those are the sections and provisions that you need to really look into and can get you into jail.
Right. Okay. So the question is just now put a word there, tax mistakes. Okay. If there is a tax mistakes, so obviously the person won't end up going to jail.
If you look at, I think I need to bring my Bible.
Okay.
It's easier for me to refer. So, under Section 112 is failure to furnish returns.
Right.
But under 113 is incorrect returns, meaning you did some form of mistake.
Okay.
But the problem arises is when you did not correct your mistakes and you keep it there.
Right.
So, if that happens, then yes, it can be an offense, and yes, you can go to jail because of an incorrect return due to your mistake.
Okay, so that is the explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. what are the most common mistakes business owners make that could land them in serious trouble?
You would be surprised that a lot of SMEs, usually the big guys, the big guns don't do these mistakes, but the SMEs would not file their tax returns. And this is where we find the elements of willful evasion and also failure to file incorrect tax returns. Under Section 112 specifically, there have been subsequent years, if you don't file, you can get a penalty of twice the amount of tax that you need to pay.
Right.
Add on the tax that you already owed. So that's a lot.
Right.
And at the same time, you can also get 6 months of imprisonment if you are found guilty.
Right.
That's crazy. That's scary.
Yeah. So what you're trying to say, besides the what you call the penalty and all that, there is also imprisonment. No, they can send to jail.
Yes,
right?
yes, correct.
So it varies from 6 months to a year, 2 years, 3 years, right?
Yeah. But for the provisions under the Income Tax Act, usually it's 6 months.
6 months.
Yes, 6 months of imprisonment.
Okay.
There have been a case, Mr. I just wanted to share, there have been a case that the taxpayer was imprisoned for a day. There's also been a case where the taxpayer is imprisoned for a week.
Right.
But as of yet, there's no cases that it has been imprisoned for 6 months. You don't want to be the first.
Okay. So in that sense, also the income tax has been a bit lenient.
Yes, we are lenient. And also the court is also quite lenient about it.
Right. Okay. So let's, the next question would be, before the election take someone to court, do they usually give warnings or prosecution comes suddenly?
Usually there'll be an investigation conducted towards the taxpayer first. So we'll request for documents, we'll raid your office, and I think that's as much as that I can share with you, because my boss said don't have too much fun.
Okay.
But regardless, it won't come off immediately that you are guilty. We will go through the proper process, which is an investigation, request for documents, and if during the course of investigation we find that you are not guilty, then the charges will be dropped.
Right.
It's a fair system.
Right, definitely. It's a fair system. It's just that the taxpayer has to, comply.
Yeah.
The most important thing is to comply and adhere to the rules and regulation and the law. Right?
Correct.
Okay. So let's move on. If you realize you have made a mistake, is it better to fix it early or wait for the income tax to contact you?
Never wait for the income tax to contact you, because once you wait, that's too late for you actually. Because that's as if that you are ignoring the law. Because ignorance of law is not an excuse. So if you realize there's a mistake that you made and out of good faith, you can just contact the IRB officer and surely it will be corrected. Because in the provisions here as well, there's a defense of good faith. So long as you are doing it in that accordance, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, actually what happened is, if that's we call voluntary disclosure, meaning they have not submitted or they have made a mistake or whatever, they go in, declare what you call upfront without waiting for the income tax to come back to them. Correct. But then when the income tax comes back, then it will be more of heavier penalties.
Yes.
Right. So I think at the moment, if anybody come and do a voluntary disclosure, I think the penalty is lower. Compared to when income tax comes, the penalty can be up to 200-300% because they have the liberty to do that, because that's a provision under the Act.
True.
Right. Irsyad, I have a question. Okay. Lately, the income tax has been doing operations. Operasi. We call it operasi. And then this operasi will focus on certain groups. Let's say, what I know is those who are selling the Besi group, for example. That's an
all
example.
over the news.
So you have the timeline, at some point of time you focus on certain people. So what is actually the objective of income tax? When they start the operasi like this. So because as a taxpayer, they want to know, suddenly there is an operasi and you're targeting certain group of people. So would you like to enlighten the viewers or the taxpayers on this subject?
the end game of IRB, regardless, is to educate. But sometimes education requires a little bit of assertive force with the law. So when it comes to this kind of operations, we do not go on a fishing expedition. We actually goes on several specific bases.
Right.
And we find that there are elements of crime, then we will go for the taxpayer.
Right.
So at the end of the day, when we conduct such operations,
Right.
it is not to give an impact towards a specific group,
Right.
but it is to create an awareness towards the whole nation, towards the whole society,
I
that
see.
if you don't follow the law, this may happen to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, it's to educate the others.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and when you target, you already identified the group,
Yes.
right? The taxpayer who actually not complying with the law.
Yes.
Right. Actually, there's a lot of talk going around about anti-money laundering,
Oh, spicy.
or in other words, there's an abbreviation,
Yeah.
AMLAFA.
Mhm.
Okay, I believe it has evolved also to something else now.
Yeah.
Can you briefly explain about that?
That's a long topic, but I'm gonna keep this Bible and get my other Bible. So you can see, AMLA is the Anti-Money Laundering Act, and then you add on anti-terrorism financing and also proceeds of unlawful activities. So AMLATPA is how you pronounced it. It has evolved towards a very comprehensive anti-money laundering act.
Right.
Yeah. And all the kerfuffle going around AMLA is that it has been instructed towards the agencies that we need to give an impact to a society and create a better awareness and understanding. When it comes to tax evasion, you might be charged with AMLA as well. How does it work? Under the Income Tax Act, there are 3 provisions that are attached to the second schedule of this act. So the first one is 112, the second one is 113, and the third one is 114. Sorry. So if you are found to be having some elements, which is the predicate offense, under 112, 113, 114, you might also be charged under Section 4 of the AMLA Act, in which you can be imprisoned
I
up
see.
to 20 years.
Oh,
Yeah, so the Income Tax Act is a bit lenient, a bit small and domicile in comparison to the AMLA Act. AMLA Act is like the big brother, the giant
yeah.
of the acts that you have in Malaysia.
So that's serious, right?
It's very, very serious.
Very, very serious.
Take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is now the income tax has put some emphasis on that
Yeah.
as well. It's not like the income tax alone,
Yeah.
but we have a new act, AMLAFA,
Yeah.
right?
It's an old act, but it has been revised many times and updated. I believe there's another update will be coming soon. It has been gazetted, but it has not been enforced. In which, in that revised edition, there'll be a much more severe penalty.
Mm.
Yeah. So when it comes to the AMLA Act, some people may ask, like, does it go under the provision of the IRB solely?
Correct.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
We work with SPRM together, and you know how SPRM works.
Right.
Yeah, camera.
Yes.
Because they want to enforce fully the powers that they have within the act to ensure that there's no money laundering
Right.
activities occur.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the act also have evolved because the changes in the society and how business is done, like the money laundering,
Yeah.
and anti-terrorism,
Mm.
the money used for terrorism purposes. So that's how it evolved based on the changes happens in the society.
True.
Yeah. Sometimes we hear during this either audit or especially investigation, what happens is the income tax, besides the normal application of the Income Tax Act, they also bring in the AMLA Act. So what are the scenarios or what are the situation where while doing this audit or investigation, they bring in the AMLA Act? Can you give us some examples?
We're digging some tea right now. All right, I'll see what I can share. So, the whole intention when we bring in AMLA is first and foremost is to combat the shadow economy.
Right.
Shadow economy involving drugs, human trafficking, and if it does not involve those severe offenses, we look at the patterns and behaviors of certain taxpayers, especially the SMEs or the multinational companies. Sometimes they are very smart with how they strategize in paying less taxes. So when we look at the provisions of 112, usually it does not involve those kind of companies. But it involves 114, where there's a willful evasion. They transfer the money here and there. And sometimes you see there's this chain of stores or maybe a warehouse. There's nobody there. It looks like it's abandoned, but somehow it's generating millions and millions of ringgit. How does that happen?
Correct.
So those are the cases that we go for. I believe there's this one case I can share, but not to disclose the name.
Okay.
There's this case of a warehouse in Klang. We found out that there's millions of generated income from nothing.
I see.
So when we raided that place, there's only old expired alcohol.
Oh,
So where does that source of income
come from?
derive from?
Yeah.
Just doesn't make sense to us. And
Correct.
those are the kind of scenarios that we are targeting and pulling in AMLA in as well.
I see. I see. Okay, that's a very good example. Thank you. Sure. If I ask you to, an advice for the taxpayer, how they should behave themselves or should act on, when it comes to tax matters, what would be your advice?
At the end of the day, we are all taxpayers. Selva, you're a taxpayer.
Correct.
I'm a taxpayer. So the general rule is just submit your tax returns, pay your taxes, and if you do make a mistake, there's no issue. Just come to the IRB office and correct the matter.
Right.
And we will give you the utmost, fullest cooperation. The problem arises is when you don't come to us, you don't pay your taxes, and then you're scared for life when we are coming
Yeah.
to search for you.
Correct. It's just comply with the act.
Yeah.
Just submit your returns, make the payment, then you're okay.
You're set for life.
Can go home happily.
Go home happy, go for your holiday, have fun.
Right. Irsyad, thank you so much. And then I would like to thank the Inland Revenue for giving us this opportunity to be with you, to share the information. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Pleasure is all mine. Really appreciate to have this opportunity to talk with you and also to educate not only myself but also the taxpayers. And remember guys, kami bukan along. Kami cuma nak tolong. But if you tak nak ditolong, then you yang rugi. Bye-bye.